majority of people have been in or know someone who has been in an accident. Are you willing to risk your life by not wearing a seatbelt? In 2016, I was in a pretty bad car accident. I was hit by a dump truck. I was lucky I was wearing my seatbelt, and that more than likely saved me from either being seriously injured or even dying. It is the law to wear a seatbelt. In 1966, the U.S. enacted the National Traffic and Motor Safety Act. This empowers the federal government to set and administer new safety standards for motor vehicles. Every state has its own set of laws for wearing a seatbelt and who has to wear their seatbelt. Kentucky state law requires the driver and all passengers to wear their seatbelt at all times while in a motor vehicle. Children under the age of 8, between 40 and 57 inches tall in height, have to be secured in a booster seat. Everyone needs to know their state regulations toward seatbelt and the rules that they need to follow while in a motor vehicle. Seatbelts were created for safety. Seatbelts were invented in 1959 by Niles Olin and have been offered in cars ever since. In 2017 alone, seatbelts saved an estimated of 14,955 lives. If you buckle up in the front seat of your car, you reduce the risk of fatality by 45%, along with moderate and critical injury by 50%. In a truck, you reduce the risk of a fatal injury by 60% and moderate or critical injury by 65%. Buckling up is the single most effective thing you can do to protect yourself in a car accident. Death and injury. Roughly 47% of the 37,133 people killed in motor vehicle crashes in 2017 were due to not wearing a seatbelt. Not buckling up can result in being ejected from the vehicle, which is almost always deadly. The force of the airbag alone could seriously injure you with head abrasions and even cause fatality. More than 2.6 million drivers and passengers were treated in the emergency room as a result of car accidents in 2017. Young drivers and passengers ages 18 to 24 have the highest crash-related injuries due to not wearing their seatbelt. In 2010, non-fatal crashes resulted in $48 billion in lifetime medical and work loss. Myths and facts about wearing seatbelts. It is a myth that seatbelts can trap you underwater or in fire. These accidents only account for 0.5% of all car crashes. Wearing seatbelts are more likely to keep you conscious and able-bodied to get out of the car. A lot of people think that if you aren't going far or if you're going slow, you do not need to wear a seatbelt. Most accidents happen within 25 miles of your home and at speeds of less than 40 miles an hour. While it is true that seatbelts can hurt you if you are in a crash, it is a lot less damage than what will happen if you are not wearing one. Teens have the lowest seatbelt use of any age group according to the CDC. All of my information was found on teendriversource.org, handsfreeinfo.com, cdc.gov, and the nhtsa.gov.